Hello. Welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So last week we were doing a bunch of stuff with .NET and JavaScript, and in a dramatic break with tradition, today we are going to be doing a bunch of stuff with .NET and JavaScript. But actually, no, today's going to be a little bit different. Today is going to get a little bit meta, because what I'm doing, this is kind of an experiment. I love live streaming coding sessions, but I probably spend about, I sort of worked it out the other day, I probably spend about 30% of my, like if you average it over a year, maybe 30% of my working time actually writing code, and a good chunk of that is stuff that I can't stream because it's full of things like, you know, customer API keys and credentials for real systems, and I don't trust myself not to mess that stuff up and accidentally put like an API key for Stripe on a live stream and be like, oh, everyone forget you saw that in the stream, I need to go and cycle some keys now. But I also do a bunch of stuff which might stream well. I prepare workshops. I do, graphics and design and illustration. I make stickers. I do all kinds of stuff. And so today is going to be a little bit of going to be live coding. But mainly what I'm doing today. So let me switch over, show you what we're actually going to be doing. I am. There we go. I'm going to Copenhagen next month, and I am going to be at the Copenhagen Developers Festival. Which is over here. What do you mean resume my journey? What are journeys? Where did journeys come from? No, I just want to go there. That's it. Fine, there we go. I'm going to this. And it's going to be awesome because it's like all the best parts of NDC conferences. So this is the crew from NDC. A lot of you will have seen there's 5 of you on the stream right now. Maybe at least one of you has seen some of my talks that I've done with NDC conferences over the years, in person or on YouTube. Awesome bunch of people. They run fantastic events, and they're putting this together. And the idea with the Developers Festival is during the days, it's kind of, technical presentation sessions, but then in the evenings we're doing something a little bit different. So I'm putting together a whole bunch of stuff with, live music. So Guitaraoke is going to be there. So I'm taking all that stuff that we were doing last week. That's coming on the road, and that's going to be there too. Will I have a speak there? Yes. Let's have a look. So if we go to speakers, and see this rogues gallery of the usual suspects. We got some familiar faces. I've seen nothing. What's plain text? What's the art of code? Who knows? Not me. I don't know. They're all just mysterious incantations. So, hey, Hankman, yeah, live music. We love live music. All the stuff that's going on at the moment with, it's been a weird couple of years. First, there was the pandemic and, lockdowns and virtual events and kind of, live but not live. Like, you could see it, but you can't smell it. Kind of is, I guess, how I think about those kinds of events. And then recently we've got this whole thing where, people are going, oh, I got ChatGPT to write a song about this. And there's something about being in a room with real people doing real music and, the performance and the audience becoming part of it. And it's special. And the machines are not going to take that away anytime soon. But, it's a nice opportunity to get a bunch of people together. So this is all the folks who are going to be there. Some of them I know well, some of them you probably know well, some of them are new names and faces to me. And if we scroll down to the there we go, Dylan Beatty, the one in the hat. And look at that, I'm going to be, let's break that up. I'm going to be talking about inventing Guitaraoke. I'm going to be doing a live set with the Line Breakers. I'm going to be running a live guitar karaoke session, so that's all fun stuff. But then also, boom! Modern web development with C# and .NET, an in-depth workshop about building data-driven web applications. So this is 2 days of classroom training with a bunch of people. Now, I've run these workshops with like 5-6 people. The biggest one I've run was with 40 people. And I've run loads of these things, online, offline. I added it up some. It's a ridiculous number of hours that I've spent doing this kind of stuff. But this one's kind of interesting. It's a lot of stuff I really like, stuff that I think is important. And because it is still, possible in this day and age, there's a lot of specialism goes on in software engineering. You get, oh no, I'm front end, I don't do that. And you get people who are like, I just do back end, I don't do CSS. And occasionally people are like, oh no, I just do databases or I just do infrastructure. I still think that there are a lot of problems in the world which are small, but they are important. And, a lot of opportunities out there for small organizations to literally build an entire kind of application end to end outsource a little bit of the hard stuff. Like when I do this kind of thing, Azure runs the servers because I don't want to do that anymore. I did 10 years of network cable and plug-in stuff in, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and the main thing I learned is that it sucks when your website goes down because a piece of wire didn't work properly or because someone's cut the power. So that's someone else's problem. And, stuff like payment, stuff like managing SMTP, relay reputation, we got people to do that. But kind of everything else, you can do that yourself. You can run the whole full stack. You can do the front end, you can do the back end, you can do data persistence, migrations, deployment, all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to be building and kind of demonstrating, showing a group of people how do you make this stuff happen? What do you need to know? And so I've done this workshop online. I ran a couple of them towards the end of last year. It's going to be the first time I've done it in person. Now let's take a look at so the way that I tend to run these coding workshops is let me go to ursatile.github.io/fsnet. So this is the online handbook stuff that I put together for the ones I did last year. I want to overhaul this. So when you're doing, teaching code is, I think, really, really difficult because it doesn't just need to work. It needs to make sense, and you need to be able to justify the SMAB UK as an intellectual exercise. I was going to convert the Guitaraoke app to Blazor in .NET 8. Cool. You know what? If you want to do that and you want to do it on the stream, ping me a DM or drop me an email or something, because I know nothing about Blazor. Like I've dabbled, like I scratched the surface of what Blazor can do, and that might be a really fun opportunity to do some kind of. If you're up for it, we could do that with some live pairing, and you can kind of walk me through what you're doing, and I get to learn a little something along the way, figure out how it all works and stuff. So yeah, the offer is open. That goes to anyone on the stream. Anytime you want something you want to do a bit of live pair programming on stream on one of your projects, or just something you think is interesting, drop me a line, and let's see if we can make that happen. Because it's friendlier with two, as Winnie the Pooh and Piglet once said. I can't remember which one said. It's definitely one of them. Anyway, so teaching code, workshop code is crunchy because, it's got to work on my machine. It's also got to work on everyone else's machine. So you've got to have, repos that you are confident that other folks in the group are going to be able to grab it or download the zip file or clone the repo. And when they press go, it's going to work. And if there's anything that doesn't work, ideally you want to know what that's going to be. So you can preempt those and go, right, okay, yeah, you've got this error message. That means you need to do this. You got this error message. You need to relax your permissions. You need to install a local SSL certificate. You need to set up a Docker container on this port. All those kinds of things here. So what we're going to be doing in today's stream, and probably the next couple of streams as well, is I'm going to be going step by step through actually building this application. Now, the other thing which makes all this stuff interesting is I want to be able to point people to code bases and say, hey, you go grab this version of the code. So if people get stuck or they get kind of left behind, at the start of every one of these modules. So let me walk through a little bit about how I actually break this stuff down. So let's let me think a second here. We're gonna need some markdown. So I'm going to you know what, we're just gonna start scrubbing with this thing. So I'm gonna hang on, I hit the wrong button. Do you want to no, I do not wish to exit OBS. So let me show you a little bit of the behind the scenes here to give you a little insight into what it was that just happened there. We're going to switch over to the reality camera. Ooh, hello, look at that. So this is the main cam that I use for streaming. And to get the kind of angle to line up just right with the virtual green screen background there, the camera is actually just over the top of the screens there. So from where I'm sitting, I see that. Which means it's quite easy to accidentally click the wrong thing on the wrong monitor at the wrong moment, and hilarity ensues. So yeah, that's... I'm going to move OBS, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put OBS where it's not right in the firing line of one accidental, over-enthusiastic click. There we go, that's better. And... okay, so... where do we get to? Yeah, workshop structure. So what I want to do is I'm going to kind of start over, and rather than taking what I've got and sort of trying to kick it into shape, I'm going to probably almost start afresh and pull in the chunks of this which makes sense, because I've overhauled the description a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this, because this is what people are signing up for. This is the... hey, come along to my workshop and you're going to learn about all this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to figure out a structure. There's a narrative, the art of... Patton Oswalt has this great thing, one of his stand-ups I was listening to recently, about how every film you ever love was directed by a man and edited by a woman. And men just go out and they shoot loads of film and they come up with this massive 18 hours of stuff. And then a woman goes, right, no, actually we need to dig the story out of this massive mess you made. And it's weird, it's true. Like Star Wars, edited by a woman. Most of the Indiana Jones movies, directed by men, edited by women. So I need to channel my inner editor now and figure out, so what's the narrative here? How do we start on day one with .NET New Application? Where can we fast forward? How do we make sure that at the end of every kind of chunk of the workshop it makes sense and people can understand logically? But also, if anybody got lost in the previous chunk, I want to make sure that they don't stay lost. I want to be like, okay, well, you can go and read up on that stuff later. Let's get you back up to speed. Grab this zip file or clone this commit from the repo, and bang, there you are. You're back to where you need to be. So what I'm going to do is... does my Markdown editor support tables? I saw the new indie movie the other night. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Look at that. Okay, cool. We can do tables. So, what do we got? Monday and Tuesday. So these are our 2 days. So what I'm going to do is 0900 to 1000 is going to be something. And then Tuesday, 0900 to 1000. So I'm going to work on the assumption that... So I'm just blocking out chunks of time here to figure out what do we put in which content, how do we get to the end of each section, end on something kind of, sensible. And can I zoom that a little? Zoom in. Control-Shift+. There we go. That's nice. So Tuesday, actually, so let's map that out. So we got Monday, there's that. 11:30 to 12:30. Then we break for lunch. So back 13:30 to 14:30. This is my ideal structure. Then we take a 15-minute break. So we got 14:45 to 15:45. Then 1600 to 1700. So this is how. Now, it doesn't always work out this way. One of the things about running in-person workshops is that somebody else decides when you get lunch, and somebody else decides when you get coffee breaks and all that kind of stuff. But kind of very broadly speaking, I got a bunch of stuff that I want to get through, and this is the approximate structure that I want to use to get through it. So now the idea is each one of these chunks is an hour, and it's nice if every hour is like a third of talk and slides, so me explaining, hey, welcome, this is what we're going to be doing. A third of kind of demonstration and collaborative coding, so we'll get like a VS Live share or something going, other people contribute to what we're coding there, and then about a third of it is then telling everyone, right, take 20 minutes. Now the other nice thing about doing that with an in-person workshop is that's the bit where you say to people, look, yeah, go, I don't care, deal with that Slack from your boss, or reply to that email, or go out and return that call you need to return. That's cool, we'll be back after the break, and if you got like left behind because you had to go and deal with something, that's cool. Grab a zip file or pull the latest commit from the repo, and we're going to keep on trucking. So what I want to do now is I want to work out how does this list of stuff fit logically into what we got going on here. So I am going to let's just as a demo, I'm gonna grab that line, I'm gonna stick that in. Oh man, I wish. What do you mean I can't put line breaks? Okay, there we go. That's okay. Markdown is not gonna work for this. We're gonna write this in Word like animals, and then and only then will we turn it into something web formatable. Right? Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? How do I get this slot into? Maybe I can just grab that, drop that in there. That really does not want to format it as a table, does it? You know, things in software where you're like, I could just do this again, or I could try and use a regular expression to fix it, or I could. Yeah, nah, okay, forget it. Right. Monday, right, boom, okay, we'll block this out. Table style. There we go. So Monday, what do we got? 900 to 1000. Intro and welcome. Then we're gonna do, boom. 10:15 to 11:15, we're gonna do dunno yet. 11:30 to 12:30, dunno yet. And then lunch, and then 13:30 to 14:30, and then 14:45 to 15:45, and then 1600 to 1700. That's Monday. Cool. Copy, paste, bang. This is Tuesday. All right. Hello and welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be spelling Tuesday with Dylan. You can't type good. Okay, there's that. They love the yeah. All right. So save this into not OneDrive. Thank you very much. I do not. What did I just do? Oh, I did that go anywhere? Or I want a file. I want to save as. I do not want OneDrive. I want this in Dropbox because the Dropbox workshops. Full stack web development with .NET 6, which is no longer the schedule, the title of this workshop, but that's all right. We'll fix that. So, right. Okay, let's back that out. So, what I want to do in section 1, I want to get to Hello World. Complete with code formatting, unit tests, integration tests, and a deployment pipeline. So this is a fully tested Hello World live on Microsoft Azure. Reason we do that is that you do everything. I'm a big fan. If something's going to happen, you do it at the earliest point you possibly can, because then you have the longest amount of time to find out what's wrong with it. Something I've seen a bunch of times is .NET new application. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Let's go to GitHub. Amazing. GitHub's there. Let's go to Azure. Whoa, look, it's live. All right, let's add some tests. And that's the point where you realize, some of you may have seen this on the stream last week, is when you add your test project, the GitHub Actions then doesn't know which thing you're publishing. And so about 50% of the time, what's going to happen is that it's going to randomly deploy your unit testing project to Azure instead of your website. So that's not going to work. There we go. Oh, hang on one second. Hey Siri. Set a countdown timer for 10 minutes. Cool. I'm going to need to take a break in 10 minutes to go and put bread in the oven. Because we're multitasking. We're writing code, and we're writing workshops, and we're baking bread this morning. It's all going. Okay, so what do we got? Intro, welcome, fully tested Hello World app live on Microsoft Azure. Then let me pull out the whole workshop structure here and see what's the... Actually, what I'll do is I'll copy this from the web. I'll put Typora away. I'll drop this back in here. Let's see if we can get that view side by side. There's that. So that's... so requisites can go there. Okay, cool. Side by side. That's what we want to get to with this thing. So can I get that? What I want is side by side, but bigger than that. And I gotta that off, hide in the ribbon. And wow, the surprising difficulty. Welcome to the stream where today we're going to be zooming things in Word. No, that's what we want. Multiple pages. There we go. We don't want the pages to move side by side. We want the pages to move up and down because that's how scrolling works. All right, so intro and welcome. So that one there is going to cover, so what do we got? We got the .NET CLI tool is going to be in there. We got creating a .NET application is going to be in there. We are not going to do routing. Testing your web application is going to be in there as well. Routing and logging, we probably want to break in that stage just so we can see once you go live on Azure what kind of visibility do you get. Smab UK says, I keep my tests and my source under different folders, and this is one way to avoid that. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to avoid it, but it is one of those... there's a lot of things with .NET where the tooling out of the box, if you just accept the defaults, it does not quite the right thing. It's like, you do .NET new this, .NET, or if you go into Visual Studio and you go File, New Project, and you got a solution open and you file New Project, it's going to put it in the wrong place. Because I know a lot of people are like, no, you put your solution, so let's go down a rabbit hole. Yay, we love a rabbit hole. And this is going to be a Notepad-powered rabbit hole. So what do we got on here? We've got a... so a bunch of people, they're like, my project, and then underneath my project, they've got like slash... so first of all, you've got the kind of project structure where you've got your root, and in here you've got my project, and then underneath that you've got my project.solution, and then you've got a folder called my project.web. No, rabbit holes are fun. The other nice thing is someone's probably going to ask me about this during the course of the workshop, so this way I get to figure out in advance what I would say when they do. So we got my project.web app, and then that is going to contain, like, in there we got my project.webapp.csproj, and then you have like my project.tests, and then underneath that you're going to have another csproj. It's actually surprisingly weird driving Notepad at this size. So my project.tests.csproj. Oop. So that's kind of one way that I've seen people do it. And this one is the one that sits nicely with Visual Studio. So when you go File, New Project, or add a new project to Solution, you get it just kind of drops it in there. Now I've seen a bunch of people where they say, oh no, everything works a lot better if you have a myproject.sln is there, and then underneath that you have /source, and then all of these are underneath source. Now this one kind of works nicely, and then the other thing you can do with that one, which I think is C# hard to pick up for JS devs. No, I do not think it is. They are... we're going to come back to that question after we've come out of this rabbit hole. So what do we got on here? So we got /tests. So you got a project structure a little bit like this. Now this is nice, but every time you add a new project to it, you got to remember to close your solution, move it around, put it in the right place, and then also we got /smab suggest. We also have /docs in there, which is where you have like how to not break it .md and all this kind of useful stuff. So that's kind of a nice structure. But like I said, when you do this, it's very, very easy to just go, oh yeah, move that or do that. And a lot of the tooling is not going to respect the conventions you've established. Now, if there's a way of telling the tooling, let's say you want it to work, I'd love to know how that works, because that potentially is useful. The nice thing about this layout is, let's see, can we do a thumbs up? There we go, look at that. So thumbs ups about this layout are git clone plus .NET build just works. So you git clone it, and then you .NET build it, and this goes, oh, I found a solution file in the top level here. That all works. The downside of this one is tooling defaults, put things in the wrong place. So, yeah, I quite like that. We're gonna see. So one of the things on kind of the stream is we have the time and the freedom to move things around and play around with structure a little bit. So let's go back to Smab says it's only an issue on initial creation with the tooling. After that, I right click on the source folder and add the new project. Let me just... We're going to do a Visual Studio quick show you what you need to do to get this up and running, because actually I quite like this idea. So we're going to create a new project, and this is just... So the classic template here is we want web and we want tests. And in the Visual Studio tooling, which obviously is Windows only, so for the folks on Mac and Linux, you have opened Visual Studio. Please wait. Here is some music and 2 separate little purple glowworms chasing each other round and round in circles. Let's build an ASP.NET Core web app. Yep, next. Actually, I don't want a web app. I want an MVC web app. That one. Actually, no, let's have a look at that one. Razor Pages. Let's take a look at Razor Pages. I should probably incorporate some stuff about Razor Pages on here. So D projects. I do actually have a folder in my D projects called Throwaway. I should have a project in here called Throwaway. There we go. I got 2 projects called Throwaway. Okay, cool. So let's stick a new folder in here called Twitch Stream Hacks. Because we're not going to use this thing. I just want to see what the tooling does. So we're going to call this myproject.webapp, and there we go, and solution name is just going to be my project, and then next. And so this .NET 7 authentication none, enable Docker, do not use top level statements. Boom, that's all nice. Yes, we accept the terms and conditions. The defaults are fine. Woohoo, there we go. So what we've got in there is this. Now what I got to do now to get the structure right is we need to close the solution. So actually, because we need to edit the solution file. And I don't know if Visual Studio lets us do that natively. So let's try. So first of all, can we add a folder to the solution now? Solution folders are weird because I don't think a solution folder. So if we put a folder in there called source, and now go and have a look at what we actually get on disk. So let me fire up a terminal here. I love that. I mistyped terminal, and it does the thing where it goes, oh, well, clearly you wanted to search with Bing instead of... Right, D projects, throwaway, and let's go into... look at my 2 throwaways. There's throwaway with a W and throwaway without a W. So let's whack that up onto here and cd Twitch stream and cd my project. So what we got in here is we got so the solution folder. Now if we go and actually have a look, if I have VS Code here, you'll see inside the gritty details of, yes, I trust the authors. Inside the SLN folder here, somewhere we'll have a, project is new folder 1, new folder 1, which isn't called new folder 1 anymore. It's called source. If we save all the things and go back to that, there. So that's not a real folder, that's a fake folder. So we can go over here, and now if I make a directory called source, and I go over here, now this is where it gets a little bit fiddly, because we know that 2 folders called source, and they are mutually exclusive. One of them is visible in Visual Studio. Like if you go over here and you okay, let's go right-click, add a new item, and we'll call this readme.txt, and drop that in there. Oh, failed to create. The method or operation is not implemented. I wonder why that is. Maybe it doesn't like that item. Readme.js. Okay, so there's no template in there for those. So now we've got a readme.js, but let's have a look at where that file actually went. So now we've got readme.js is in the root of the project, but in Visual Studio it's in a folder called source because our solution folder is shuffling things and moving things around. So So now let's have a look at what happens if I go over. So we're going to close this. I'm going to go File. I'm going to, oops. Wait, there's that little file, close solution. So I'm going to shut that down, and then I'm going to jump in over here, and I'm going to move my project.webapp into the source folder. So when you do new project, ask for a folder to store the project in. All right. Well, the good news is that appears to have just crashed, and it's not going to move it for us. It's gone, oh no! You have attempted to move a folder in 2023. There will now follow an interminable period of waiting. So, yeah, no, I'm just using VS Code because it lets us open the solution file and look at it easily and see what's in it. So if I right-click New Project, let's have a look at what we get out of that. Right-click Add New Project. I want an XUnit test project. Yes, NUnit is clearly what we want with XUnit test project. You see this? It's like, I want XUnit. It's like, oh yeah, you want NUnit. Oh yeah, here's other results based on your search. XUnit. All right. Hello, Nalexa. Welcome. How you doing? Next. Project name. Location. All right. So this is the thing where we need to remember to myproject.webapp.tests. Create. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see what we get at the other side of that. Yeah, Dylan Beatty is streaming again. Hello. I'm going to try and stream more. I like streaming. Slight downside is it's difficult to stream for an aeroplane, but at the moment, I'm not on an aeroplane, so here we are. Hello. So let's take a look at what we're messing around with Visual Studio project structures. And so we got to take a look at what we got. Okay, error resource busy, yeah, that's fine. So now what we've got in here, if I refresh that window, is... So we've got tests, we've got myprojectwebapp.test, so that's in there. And if we go and have a look in here... Now this is the thing which is... it's one of those things, like, it makes me uncomfortable, but I struggle to articulate why. So we got myproject.webapp.tests. Now, in your Visual Studio solution here, that thing is at the top level. Like, it's at the root of our folder. We got a source folder here, which is not the same as the source folder that exists on disk. And, yeah. Almost 2 years since the last video upload. I thought you were gone forever. Nah, I've just been busy. So I got into streaming in a big way in when everything was shut. You know, when you couldn't go out, when the pubs were closed, you weren't allowed to see your friends. When you went to the shops, you kind of would you know, go in and get around as quick as you can, come home. You wouldn't hang about. You wouldn't go out and get a cup of coffee. And that kind of coincided with doing Advent of Code. And yeah, that was just kind of, I got into the groove with that. And I'm very, very bad at discipline. Like, I'm like, yay, I'm going to Twitch stream. And suddenly I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to stream 5 hours every day for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then it's like, yeah, actually bored now. I'm going to do something else. But at the moment, hey, I'm here. And hopefully what I'm going to try and do is to incorporate streaming into the stuff that I'm doing anyway. Because Advent of Code was like no overlap with anything else I'm doing. Whereas this is real stuff. This is the work that I would be doing today. It's just CLRMs if I tried doing it on Twitch. What happened so far is we got on a bunch of interesting rabbit holes to do with solution folders and project structure and all that kind of stuff. During the Advent of Code streams, I lived in the US, so you're always streaming in the middle of the night. I find the whole, like, the Advent of Code thing is very... because they give, like, prizes for the people who complete it first, but Advent of Code drops when it's... What is it? Drops at midnight in... when does it actually come out? I think it's like midnight in New York time. Advent of Code, when do puzzles come out? Puzzles are released on a daily schedule. Does it say no schedule? Come on, give me a time zone. by midnight Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, so that's UTC -5. So midnight EST in UTC is, yeah. So for me to get up, yeah, 5 a.m. here. 4 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m.? Yeah. So basically, to have any chance at all of doing well with Advent of Code, you need to get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and be ready to write code fast by 5 a.m. That's never going to happen. But this year, this December, I'm going to be in Australia for the first week of the year. So let's see what the time is. Midnight EST in Brisbane. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at that. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the YOW Australia conference tour. I'm keynoting there. So the good news is I'm going to be in Australia. Bad news is I'm going to be busy because I'm going to be doing conferences and stuff. So whether I get to do any of that, it might be fun just like on the first day to make it onto that actual leaderboard. Where the Anyway, so yeah, we've been batting around this whole thing of here's a Visual Studio project with a source and all that kind of stuff. It says midnight when 81 people signed up, not midnight when new puzzles are released. The puzzles are released at midnight. I just couldn't remember which time zone they're released at midnight at. Getting in the first 100 is very hard there. Yeah, I know. We choose to do the things not because they are easy, but because we thought they were easy. You know the quote, right? Okay, anyway, so back to .NET. So, what I'm going to do here is I am going to stick to the principle of least surprise, because what we've got here is a solution full of surprises. We got a source folder there with a readme.js folder in it, so let me show you why I think this kind of thing is potentially a bad idea, because we could have, like, this could be a readme.txt file. This project is completely 100% safe and will not indoctrinate your pets. So there we go. So we got a source/readme.txt, but then over here we can go into our folder called source and we can have a readme.txt that said this project is extremely dangerous, and will make your dog watch the Kardashians. And there we go. So now we've got a look, solution, source, readme.txt. This project's 100% safe. But for somebody in VS Code, they're like, oh, look at that, source, we got readme.txt. Now, you understand how you can see how two different people might think they're looking at the same file when actually they're not. Like the way round robin DNS can mean it works for you and it doesn't work for the person at the next desk, and then you get a third person in and now it works for you and then it works for them and then it doesn't work for them and then it doesn't work for you and then it works for them and then so yes, the principle of least surprise. I am not going to create invisible folders that don't show up in Visual Studio, and I'm not going to use subfolders to organize the project. I'm going to go with the idea that we're going to make things explicit, and if there's more than one way to do something, I'll make sure that the scripting and automation, they know which way we're going to do that. So there we go. So that got us as far as, let me go back to where we're keeping our notes here. So we got using .NET, creating a .NET web application. So that's going to be fun. I want to unbullet this whole list here. So for folks who just joined, what we're actually doing at the moment is I'm overhauling the examples and structure for a workshop that I'm going to be running at a couple of events later this year. Where did my ribbon go? How do I get the ribbon back? Where's the ribbon? No. Don't you hate that? Like, you got two menus next to each other and you do that one and it does that, but that one goes, oh no, something completely different comes out of here. Folks, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I will be right back. Grab a cup of coffee, stretch your legs, call your mother. I'll see you in a few moments. Bye-bye. All right, we're back. The oven is on. The bread will be going in soon. I have fresh coffee. The basic biological prerequisites of software development are being satisfied. Right. Where do we get to? We are talking about... So I was unbulleting the slot. That's what I was doing. Yep. Normal. There we go. Intro, welcome. Using .NET CLI, creating a .NET web application. Let's throw that in here. So this is just me mapping out what do we need to cover in each section of this module. Creating .NET, not bad. Yes. Creating a .NET web application. So in here, what I want to do is talk about project structure / source versus root. Where do you put your solution folder, solution file, etc. Principle of least surprise. And that's basically, any one of these. The thing about software is just about anything can be made to work if you know how it's set up and you're prepared to put the hours in. You can script, you can automate, you can... I saw a Twitter conversation the other day. A friend of mine, Yan Che, doing integration with a third-party API that would take 30 minutes to reply to an HTTP request. Not like a polling, like a notification, like a webhook mechanism. Like you send an HTTP post and you wait, 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 and eventually you'll get a reply. And I was like, on the one hand, yeah, everything about that is horrible. On the other hand, a little bit of my brain is going, I bet that would be an interesting problem to try and work on. But of course, then you got the problem like, if an API can take 30 minutes to reply, what do you do the day that it starts taking 31? How do you diagnose or troubleshoot any system effectively when it takes you half an hour to know whether something worked or not? Rapid feedback loops are key here. Anyway, yay, rabbit hole. Right, back to where we are. So we're talking about that, principle of least surprise. So we're going to go with the thing which kind of gives you the defaults. We're going to explain how that works and work through the, what is actually involved in doing that. Right, so let's test in web apps. Yeah, so we're going to put in some test coverage, run it, routing, logging, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do .NET format. I'm going to do .editor config. I'm going to do resharper, code cleanup. Basically, what we want to get to by the end of this first module is we've got Hello World complete with code formatting, unit integration, and flawless. Like, I don't want there to be any technical debt, anything in this project. It's literally Hello World. Like, let's get every single detail in this project configured and set up and running the way that we want it to work. Every single detail of this project will be set up exactly how we want it to work. It's pretty ambitious. I mean, there's going to be like 15 lines of code in here that we need to get right. Maybe worth at this point putting in a fake service. Could throw in like a greeting service that does the hello worlding bit for us. Right, so there's that lot. Now we got to make a decision, even at this really kind of early stage in this thing, of how does Hello World actually work. And this is where we need to figure out the difference between model view controller versus razor pages versus endpoints. Right, let's get on a little rabbit hole here. So what we're going to do, I want to do a side-by-side comparison of those three approaches, and I just want to see, we take a very, very lightweight application, and I want to plug in a routing endpoint, I want to plug in a razor page, and I want to plug in a minimal API endpoint, and let's have a look at what those three things look like side by side. Just because I want to see which one makes sense to introduce first, and then how we're going to roll forward from there. So let me, what I'm probably going to do with this is I'm going to spin up a new GitHub repo. Just because I want somewhere to throw this stuff that AI can pull it back and look at it and see what happened to it. And so let's go for a new repository in here, And this is going to be sort of the code name I'm using for this is FSNet, because it's full stack web development with FSNet examples and experiments. That'll do. And this is going to be examples and experiments for code samples for my modern .NET web development workshop. Now this repo is going to be a mess. This is like a dumping ground, a museum of weird stuff that worked or didn't work, but that's all right, because the bit that actually, so there's going to be this, then there's going to be the actual sample repo that I share with the attendees in the workshop, and then there's going to be the live coding one that we pull up on the day we start with .NET New, and we kind of parachute code in on the top of that and roll that forward. Add a README file, yeah, get ignore template, Visual Studio, set that one up, MIT license, do what you like, just don't pretend you invented it. Actually, maybe is MIT license just do what you like? It doesn't matter. Not for this. Public repo, personal account. Yep, that's all fine. Whee! Off we go. Look at that. We made another repo. What did you achieve today? I made a GitHub repository. Yay! I'll put that over here with the... how many repos now? 183. Cool. Right. Let's clone it. Boom. Grab that. Give me a PowerShell terminal. Project, CD GitHub, CD Dylan BT, git clone, boom. A while ago I used to have just projects and then GitHub and then a project. And then I got to the point where like I had my fork of someone else's repo, so the project name is the same, but they're owned by different organizations. At that point I'm like, I should probably start organizing these a little better. So what do we got? GitHub Dylan BT. I'm just going to open a window. It's getting a little bit kind of summery in here, you know? How's that, folks? Folks on the stream, have you just got like bombarded with traffic noise? Because I do live on a main road. Although normally it should be fine. It's a pretty good mic. Let's see how we get on. If you can hear trucks and stuff, let me know and we'll do something about it. Right, so git clone that. What do we want to do now? I want to... oh no, I don't want that. I want to clear that. Do I have anything in there? I want to cd into whatever I just cloned, which is FSNet examples and experiments. I'm going to make a new directory in here called... so this is MVC... pages or minimal APIs. CD into that. Alright, the .NET New. What do we got? .NET New. Because I kind of want like .NET New Web and then see what that gives us. .NET New list. Probably give us a good one. And .NET New Web config. No, .NET New NUnit. .NET New Web. Alright, let's do that. Web API, Web App, MVC. Cute. Sounds good. Thank you, Smab. Web MVC. Let's just do .NET New Web and see what we get. .NET New Web -o .NET New Web. And let's have a look. VS Code, because it's quick and lightweight and easy to get repository. Yes, open it. Install, update, later. Program.cs. Alright, that's pretty good. So that's the minimal APIs endpoint. Yeah, we can plug that in. Alright. So that's our Hello World from minimal APIs. I mean, this is just beautiful. I love this syntax. Like it's a website in 4 lines of code. .NET Run and oh, hang on, we got to cd .NET New Web .NET Run in there, and it's just going to give us a website in 4 lines of code, and we could make it 3 lines of code if we really wanted to. We could probably make it 1 line of code. Hello world from minimal APIs. Shall we see if we can? What does map get return? That's the question. Don't do this for real, but let's see. Can we do this? Almost. Not quite. We need app somewhere as something that comes out the other end that we can run. We can almost do that in one line. Okay, so we got build, hello world from minimal APIs, app.run, so that's cool. So what do I want to bake in here? I want to use Razor Pages in here as well. So let's see. Now we could just do a, let me break out of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, so .NET new web app -o .NET new web app. And I'm going to do a .NET new MVC -o .NET new MVC. And let's open up code in here, see what we got. So .NET new web app gives us a program.cs that... Alright, so this is a little more elaborate, and that's our program.cs over here. App.map razor pages is the thing there. And that gives us pages and gives us index.cs HTML. And stop that. And okay. So we got that's there. We got a bunch of stuff. So yeah, we've got this kind of real like minimalist .NET New Web. Is like no logging, no dependency injection, no services, no controllers, no views. Literally just, hey, you call this, you get that. Apparently this is fast. Like the performance of this is very, very good because it uses minimal reflection, that kind of stuff. We got .NET New Web App, gives us all this bunch of stuff here. Now I'm just going to chop out a bunch of this stuff because in a second we're going to, so... that can come out, that can come out, that can come out. Now, a bunch of the stuff is not mutually exclusive. Like, we don't need to use static files here. Because the thing we're comparing it to, this thing doesn't have any static files in it. We don't need to use authorization. We don't need to use HTTPS redirection. So the simplest thing that would actually work here is, I think, just use Razor Pages. And then let me run that, see what we get at the other side of it. So cd.NET new web app. I've not done a huge amount with Razor Pages. I sort of, tampered with them and dabbled a little bit. So that's basically your full-on thing. That's your home page. That's your index page. That's your privacy policy. So that just slash and that. Okay, so that slash privacy there. So it looks like what's happening with that is that is routing page URLs directly. So it's given us a very, very lightweight way of routing things to somewhere else. So if I go in here, new file, and let's say hello.cs HTML, and let's just say that says hello, and now over here, if I go to hello, I get a 404 not found. Why? Because, okay, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. Let's do a hot reload. And that's not. Let's do a .NET watch run. This ain't classic ASP. You got to build the thing. Classic ASP, you just edit the file and then it's live, and that's it. Okay, 404, interesting. So that doesn't come up. So what has hello.cs HTML got that index doesn't? At page. Maybe we need an at page. Let's try that. Refresh that. So you see what I'm doing here is, do you want to restart your app? Always. What I'm doing is the smallest increments possible to try and work out the point that switches on the magic. Okay, sweet. There we go. So we got that on there. Let me just see what happens if we put a h1 hello in that. And there's that. Okay, so that works fine. This is an HTML page. It's just going to get rendered out into where we're at. And if I go into, so there's an inheritance model been set up here. And all right, so we got some logging. We got an onGet handler. Let me just try this. So hello, let's copy paste that, right click that, rename that to be hello.cshtml.cs. So this is going to be public class hello model, page model, that's fine. Hello looks like page, but index has a model of index model. So hello has a model of hello model. And I think what we can do here with the inheritance relationship is, let me put something in here like, so hello.cshtml, and the time is, and I can put, I think, just put in now, or current time or something, and then in our hello.cshtml, we got the logger, we got that's all fine. We'll have a public string, public protected what inherits from what, string now, data now.toString o. See what we get out the other side of that. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Connection refused. Why? That won't work. Why? Method must have a return type. Weird. Constructor needs to have the same name as the thing. Building. The name now does not exist. Alright, so if we, let's whack that over to the side and shrink that down a little bit. If we say string now does not exist, make that protected. I think it probably has to be public, but let's just see what protected gives us. No, so public string now. Okay, the name now does not exist, so let's put in model.now. Okay, so that's pretty familiar. That's the same as it works in Razor stuff. And look at that. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, so cool. That's kind of fun. I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm literally going to put a loaf of bread in the oven, folks. Don't go away. Done. Right. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up Hello World 3 different ways in the same app. So we're going to start with the minimal app. So we got .NET New Web over here with our tiny little program.cs. So I am going to come over into this one. Going to right click, new folder. I'm going to call this Pages. I think pages need to be called pages. Interesting question of can we put pages somewhere else? But let's now put, I'm going to grab my hello and my hello.cshtml.cs. I'm going to drag them over here, copy them into there. So hello model is that. Namespace, .NET New Web.pages. So that's where that is. That we don't need. And now this, those need to be hello model loggers. Now I suspect we don't need that at all. I suspect that we can literally put that on there. We can take that out completely. But maybe onGet would be a better place to do this. Let's say now and get set, and then in onGet we're going to say now equals datetime.now. Actually, let's datetime offset.now.toString. Oh, we'll include a time zone in that. There we go. And okay, so that's gonna give us a Razor Pages way of doing that. So I'm gonna break out of that application host there. We're gonna go into .NET New Web and a .NET Watch Run. Hello model could not be found. Are you missing a one of these and a one of these? So we got that there. That's .NET New Web .pages. That's in. That's not. That's what is hello model could not be found. Hello.cshtml. Weird. So that can't find that because I know why. There will be a global usings in here somewhere. View imports. There we go. We need a one of those. So actually, let me copy this across and put that at the root of the pages namespace. So that's .NET New Web. That's .NET New Web .pages. Add tag helpers on that. .NET Watch Run. Refresh that. Anybody want to see a cat? Mac, come here. Mac. Mac don't want to see you. Mac's over there. He says nope. He's doing a hacking sulk. Come on, little one. Mac. Cat. Come on. This is Mac, my ginger assistant. Hey. Hello. Right. We got as far as, yeah, okay, so we pulled in tag helpers, that's fine, now that's not working. Hello, yeah, that's fine, it's now compiling for Fangs Department for the wrong reason. Model.now, so plug that in there. I should now get a clean build out of that. Okay, cool, so we got Hello World from minimal APIs. So what I want to do now is we are going to /pages/ let's rename that to be hello page. Yeah, hello pages will do. So we've got hello pages, CSHTML, hello, let's change that to hello pages model. That's on there. Maybe hello page would make a better name for it. Naming things is hard, right? Because there aren't enough words to go around. So we got hello page model, hello page model, which I kind of like because it's a specialist. It inherits from page model. So hello page model to me, I like that. That kind of lines up with how I think things ought to be named. So we got hello pages on there. So let's go to our program.cs, and if we change this to /minimal APIs, we got hello from minimal APIs, and reload that, and that should stop working. Yes, always restart, always. Hello model could not be found. This is very much us just bashing around trying to get stuff working. Hello page model is there. Hello page model is there. Okay, save all the things. That's up. Let's see what we got. Okay, so that's cool. There's no home page here, but if we go /minimal APIs, we get hello world from minimal APIs. If we go hello page, we get nothing, which is interesting because that ought to work. /pages /hello page. The time is now. View imports is there. Pages. I know why it didn't work. In here, we need to crib the line of config that says app.map razor pages and add. So, okay, so we need to add the service to support that. And then down here, we need to add the line that actually makes it work. Refresh that, and any second now, it's gonna work. Totally gonna work. Watch this. Didn't work. I wonder if there's some weird quirk of why that's not working. All right, so what have we messed up? Or what have I messed up? App settings, JSON, nothing in there that's relevant, nothing in there that's relevant, nothing in program.cs. App.use routing maybe needs to be part of this. Let's try that. See what we get at the other side of that. Nothing. All right. Yep. Rebuild that. back over there. Okay, so that worked because the hot reload didn't pick up whatever change we made. Let me take out use routing. Save that. That did a hot reload. That's fine. That works. I don't trust hot reload. We're going to run the thing again properly from the beginning. See what do we get now. So you see that? Hot reload says, oh yeah, it worked. So we got localhost on that one there. If I fix the code and save the file, that triggers a reload. It says hot reload of changes succeeded. Did it succeed? No, it did not. Because if we do a hard reload and we actually rebuild it without doing an incremental hot reload, that worked a second ago. Hang on. Maybe it's opening in the wrong folder. So there's my hello page. Take use routing out. Reload that. Okay, no, my mistake. I apologize. Hot reload. Hot reload works beautifully. Unable to configure browser refresh injection on the response. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. So we've got that on there. Now, just to check, if I take that line out, that should have stopped working. If I take that line out, that should have stopped working. It doesn't stop working. Okay, so that stops working. So plug in app.map razor pages, save that over here, full reload. Exited with error code, unable to find the required services. All right, so you can't run that unless you've run that. And if you run that, but you don't run that, then you get refresh there. That's cool. Nothing. Okay, so we need to plug in the services to get it to work, and then we need to actually map the pages to it. So there's that, and now that. Do another hot reload. Okay, so hot reload isn't working. I retract the apology. Hot reload, you don't work. There. That's cool. Okay, so that's our Razor pages on there. We've got so this is hello from Razor pages. The time is that. And that's just completely raw on that. If we go onto our program.cs, now this thing here, what we can do is, instead of doing that, we can put in a function here which returns a request delegate. And what is a request delegate going to return? Let's try string, say hello from minimal APIs. See if that works. It's got a hyphen in it. Hello world from minimal API. That says hello world from minimal APIs, which means that hasn't picked that up. Which means that needs hot reloading. I'm questioning the wisdom of the whole hot reload, because I've had very bad results getting it to do anything reliably. So we got datetime offset.now.toString, so we can plug that in here, and we can, let me just see how we're going to plug that in there. So view imports hello page, it was in program.cs. Hello from minimal APIs. The time is, and we'll drop that in there, and that we can actually do datetime offset.now, pass in a big O as the format. String should work, and $that to turn on string interpolation. See if that kicks into form. So hello from the time is tick, 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 tick. All right, that's cool. So now all I need to do, so this kind of, okay, minimal APIs is really, really lightweight, like literally one line of code. Razor pages gives you a little bit more kind of complexity around it. And Hot reload when modifying the startup code doesn't really work, but then I wouldn't expect it to. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to, but I also, it's not that it doesn't work, it's that it says it worked. It's because it can detect things and it says unable to hot reload this because of what they call a rude edit. You know, why can't they just be like, oh yeah, you edited your startup file, we need to do a complete rebuild. It's the way when you save it, it detects it. Like if you watch what it's doing, I'm going to change my program.cs, and I'm going to go save that, and down here, it's got, oh, there's no hot reload changes to apply, and up here we got hot reload if changes succeeded. And if I change this to say minimal APIs like that, and save that file, and yeah, yeah. In other situations, it tells you that it needs a hot restart or a full restart. In this situation, it won't admit it. It's like, no, it's fine. And you're like, it's not fine. And it's like, no, it's fine. You're like, is it fine? And it's like, and you're like, refresh. And it's like, oh yeah, I found these other changes that I was going to tell you about. Honestly, yeah. There's no such thing as perfect software, but pretending it worked when it didn't, that is the worst thing you can do as an engineer or anyone associated with any kind of engineering project. Right, so there's minimal APIs, there's that's that. So what do we need to do now is I want to see what do we need to do to plug in a model view controller. Now this is going to be heavier because we need to build our services, add controllers with views. So plug that one in, and then we need to map controller root. So this is in before app.run. There's that. There's a pattern. All right. Effectively, it does work, but it doesn't affect code that's already been processed. So you mean it patches the function in memory, but it has no reason to run it again. So effectively, what you end up with is a I don't know, how do you even analogize this? You end up with a plane that's now got different landing gear to the ones that it took off with, but of course that doesn't matter because takeoff is already done. Yeah. Yeah, useless in this case. Yeah. The thing about hot reload is when it works, it's beautiful. Like, it's such a nice experience. And then when it doesn't work, it can, like 50% of the time, it's because you tried to do something unsupported, but the other 50% of the time it's because you actually made a mistake, and the change you thought you made you hadn't made, and so hot reload is like, that didn't work, and you're like, well, did my stuff not work, or did your stuff not work? So what do we got? We got controller root, we got /home/index, and we got that, so we can, on here, now, .NET New Web, so right click, yeah, when it doesn't work, I'm never sure why. It's like, did it work, didn't it work? And if it didn't work, was it my mistake or its mistake? And, you know, when it does work, yeah, it's great. Like, move that, move that, move that. Beautiful. Right, new folder, controllers. And in here, we are going to throw in a copy of the... Actually, you know what I can do? I can just drag that and copy that into there. And move that into there and delete that. And that's fine. And there's a home controller. We don't need privacy. We don't need error. They can go. So .NET MVC models, that can come out. Home controller is there. Inject a logger into it. Return the view. So let's drag a copy of views over into here. And view home index. This can literally just be, I don't even need the view data title homepage. That can come out. Layout.cs HTML. I'm gonna just scrub that whole lot completely. I'm gonna scrub that completely. I'm going to .NET New Web and .NET New Web.models, and that doesn't exist. Why not? Because I don't have a models coming in here. Do we need models? We might as well put one in just to round out the whole shape of the thing. So we got a new folder in here, models, and I'll put a new file, hello model.cs, public class, hello model, public string now, get set, and public hello model, date time offset now. Controller goes to now equals now.toString big. Oh, that's nice. Copilot got that right. Look at that. Good Copilot. And now home controller over here. I'm gonna say var model equals new hello model date time offset. Yeah, look at that. Return view model. Where's the view? It's here. Index. And this is gonna be hello from MVC. The time is at model dot, so we need up. Whoa, synthesizing 0. What? I have no idea what key I just pressed or why it did that. So this thing is gonna have model is gonna be hello model. That needs to be a little m. That throws me every time because it's a directive, not a reference. The time is model.current time. There, cool. All right, so there's no such thing as model.current time. That's Copilot going, look, I got a thing, and us going, oh, and then going, no, that is, in fact, is not a thing. All right, so if I'm right, what we should get now is, I wonder if I do this, is this going to work? Reload the whole lot. Waiting for a file to change. Reset, reset, reset. That then went for a file to restart. But it's not actually, it's just hung. Alright. Models does not exist in .NET New Web. Of course it doesn't, because if I go into my view imports, that is gonna be in namespace .NET New Web .models. See if that kicks in. Alright, that appears to have built. So if I just go to slash there, what does that give me? That gives me a, we don't know what you're trying to do. It's spinning, it's trying to do something. It says there's nothing there. All right, so if we go to minimal APIs, connection refused. Index.html with lowercase shouldn't matter because this is Windows, so it's a case-insensitive file system. So even if .NET asks for index with a lowercase I, Windows is going to give it uppercase I. That .NET Watch Run, see what we get out of the box with this thing. Hello model could not be found. Why not? So that we can kill. That we can kill. .NET New Web is the one we're looking at. Home controller, new hello model could not be found. Are you missing a using .NET New Web .models is the wrong namespace? No, it's the right namespace. I fixed it. Okay, there's that. .NET Watch Run that. See if that cooks. Okay, no red. We got a little bit of angry yellow. Okay, layout could not be found. That's fine because viewstart.cshtml we're gonna kill. So that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So hello from MVC has given us the default. If we go to /hello page, we got hello from Razor Pages. And if we go to /minimal APIs, we get hello from minimal APIs. And what I think I can probably do with this is let's just address one little disparity in the way these responses are coming back. So in our .NET New Web program.cs, and what is this expecting to come back? I want minimal API control response headers. All right. Yep. Any other type will be serialized. Text plain. Yep. Okay. Never mind. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break, folks. I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm probably gonna be back on this afternoon, do another couple of hours. Thank you for hanging out. That was kind of fun. Some interesting little rabbit holes there, because always good stuff. Let me get at that lot. Git commit minus side by side examples of eraser pages versus MVC versus minimal APIs. All right. Back in a little while, folks. Take care.